Do you want to turn off the AC? You sure? You can remove the noise?
No, I don't care. It's too hot to care. And we're back, everybody. It's been a while, but we are back, and you are too. So, welcome to Millennial Marriages Podcast. We have been out of the country for a couple weeks, and maybe you've seen the videos. We've shared them with you on YouTube, and we've put some shorts out there so you can tour the European countries with us. We went to Latvia to see Sandra's family, and we went to Sicily to see my ancestral roots, because I am Sicilian, as you can tell.
So you're proud of your nose
by
now?
the crooked nose. It's a Sicilian nose. And then we finished the trip in the UK, and we saw Sandra's sister and her family and her nieces.
It's so cute. And I learned what my niece, Vasilisa, she's 5, and she speaks Ryan's language.
She doesn't want to speak Russian, she wants to speak Ryan's language, which is English.
It was so funny, and she just loved Ryan so much.
I'm so good at it that it's now called Ryan's language. But yeah, so that's where we've been, and it was a fun trip. It's good to be home, but we try to go every year to see Sandra's family, so that's where we were. What did you gain from the trip, Sandra?
I want to say what maybe in the future we can travel more than once a year, because now when we have the business, you are not stuck to one place.
I don't have like a full-time employer anymore who only gives you a couple weeks of vacation per year, so that's.
And it's very American, which is like twice.
2 weeks per year, yeah.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. You need more vacation than 2 weeks per year.
I remember, like in our marriage, it was so funny how I told you, like, we need to go to vacation.
So,
and Ryan always replied, like,
I don't have vacation time. I need to save vacation time for this one and that one.
And yeah, like my employer, he was very easy with like vacation time, and he was like, you can go, because I could work from like.
Could work remotely, yeah. And that was like before COVID.
And it was a big fight for me. It was like, for me, I need to go to vacation.
But it's the way it was. We needed the time. We needed that paycheck. So what you're gonna do, So
yeah, I'm hoping to travel more.
That's the plan. We can do these podcasts hopefully from everywhere. Yeah. What was your favorite part of the trip?
Of course, meeting the family. Be with my mom and dad, grandpa. I spent a lot of time with my grandpa, and nieces. I love my nieces. I love my family, my mom, my sister.
So I'll link it below, but you guys should go check out the Latvia video and the Sicily video. We're not done with the UK one yet. And I'm not even certain there's going to be a UK one yet.
There should be like at least 5 minutes.
We'll see. I don't know. We didn't video much when we were there, so because we were paying attention to the family.
And we were there like for 4 or 5 days, I mean.
Yeah, we were only there a couple of days. So. But that was fun. I had a good time in UK. I feel like I could live in UK.
Yeah, so we went to Latvia the first, and we stayed in my parents' house for a week. And I usually see my parents like once a year for like 7 days. And I think like normally people have issues with their parents. Or maybe not everybody, but like I had...
everybody at some point has issues with their parents. Yes.
Yeah, so my parents, they live in Latvia, and I live in the United States for like the last 9 years, and it's pretty difficult to maintain a good maintain any relationship when you are like long distance relationships. I remember in the beginning when I just moved to the United States, and we have a time change for like 10 hours, like change with like Latvia and UK. In my time is 10 hours. So my mom, for the first like 5 years, she didn't know when to call me, because she's like, I don't know when to call you. You always sleep. You're like, I don't know how to call me. And then only after like years, she finally understood like she needs to learn how to deal with this time difference, because like I'm committed to live here now. So it was a struggle. But again, like when you have these family issues, like when you live so far from your family, it's difficult to have any communication, and also it's difficult to have like this warm communication, like when you have like this close relationships. So I'm still I have a better relationship with my mom. I think usually girl is closer to the mom. But with my dad, it's still difficult because I don't know when to call him, like what to discuss with him, what kind of topics to bring.
Your mom calls you more now, I've noticed. Like she reaches out, like makes efforts kind of to call you more, and I've noticed in like the last year.
Yes, and it was long way to get to these relationships. I remember like in the beginning, I was mad on my mom, but she talked with my sister so much, but she don't call me ever. And it's like, I always was mad, like, you always was able to find what to talk with my sister, but she couldn't find what to talk with me. And how I fixed it, I started to call her. It's not like I was like mad on my mom, or like I made her to call me more. What I did, I called her more. I made effort from me. So then we started to have like more conversations. So now she calls me anytime, and I call her anytime. So it's like we get closer. But with my dad, it's difficult. It was difficult because we don't have the topics what to talk about, and so it was difficult. But when I came to Latvia, first like 4 weeks, we got closer.
For me, it's hard to go see your parents. I like it. Like they make it like very comfortable for us and very nice. And it's like you have a nice house. Your parents have a nice house, so it's comfortable. But sometimes, like, when you're not around, and you're just, like, alone in the kitchen with your parents, and they don't speak English, and I don't speak Russian, it's just kind of, like, sitting there, not speaking anything. Your mom will, like, talk to herself, kind of. And we, like, use the app, the translation app to talk, like, when we need to. But for the most part, it's just kind of, like, awkward when you're not there.
I think so we are married like 2 years. So maybe like I'm hopeful. So maybe one day you'll get at least like some basic, or they will have some basic English, or you have some very basic Russian, something.
I have the basic Russian. I got the basic Russian down.
But yes, it's I don't know, does what you don't understand Russian and they don't speak English, what's your relationship with my parents? How you see them? You see them from what I'm saying? You see what they're doing? Like, do you think if you speak Russian, you'll have a closer relationship with my parents? Like,
I mean, probably. I go by like what I see and then what you tell me that they say, kind of. Like with the issue that we had when we were there. You were upset that they were drinking. When people hear that, they probably think like, oh, your parents are alcoholics. But they're not. They just they like to drink with dinner or at night, I guess, that I've seen. But there was only like one time where I saw your dad like really like drunk, So like I know you get upset when you're there and they're drinking, because I think in your mind you're kind of like, I'm only here like a little bit out of the year, and like, can you just not drink while I'm here, because it bothers me. But from my side, I'm like, I don't know, Like, I'm kind of like in the middle. Like, I don't know if it's actually a big deal or if it's you make it a bigger deal than it is. But of course, I support you.
And
Either way, you know, like good.
And this is like a very common issue, I think, for many people, because how I see my parents, and I still see my parents, like I'm 10 years old girl who went through all this difficult relationship with difficult relationship when one of your parents maybe drink a little bit more than it should be, and when I come to the house and I see what they still like drink alcohol, sometimes not like very bad. In my mind, I'm coming to like 10 years old Sandra who are not who needs safety and who needs the food and who needs normal like need a parent. So I understand it's my issue. It's not their issue how I react or what I want from them, or like I'm teaching them how to live. It's they're grown ups and they can do whatever they want, but I need to fix my perspective, how I see my parents. I need to be grateful for them, what they gave me a life, and I had a great childhood, and they were like best parents. But like I'm still holding up on these like grudges of what they were drinking, and it doesn't support our relationships. It just on my perspective, what they did in the past, it just gets our relationship worse. So it's my issue, what I need to work on, and not my parents, what they need to stop, do what they do. It's who I am to teach them to do what to do.
Yeah, so you could, we all had difficult relationships with our parents at times.
But the bottom point is, don't judge your parents, don't make them to change. Work on yourself, and then maybe they will change. Even like when I came to my sister, like in the UK when I went, and for a long time, I have very good relationship with my sister when I'm long term, like when I'm here and she's in UK. We speak very often. We are best friends when we are like long distance kind of. But when I come to UK, it's very difficult for me to be with her and just like live with her. And now when I notice what I was in UK and we still had a very good relationship. We didn't fight. I wasn't angry. I didn't have anything. Like it was a great trip, and I was like, it was a great trip, and I know what changed. I changed. I stopped to be just like, I know, angry or like strange person who like expect people to do something for her, or like teach people how to live, or like have this high expectation or whatever. But again, like when I came to Latvia, I saw how I changed and how people, they just like kind of
stay the
same, but I have a better relationship with them.
Yeah. I think it's interesting when we watch your sister and how they like raise their kids.
Yeah.
How they like deal with their kids. We don't have kids, so like we think kind of about it, like, ooh, like maybe we would do this differently, or we would do that differently, or not do this, or not do that. But then I also think, like, if you really did have two kids and, like, you were working, like, things would be so different. You would think about it differently.
You know what they told me all my life? My sister and my mom? Because I'm the youngest one. And my sister, she always had like very long-term relationship. Like she had like 4 years old relationship, 3 years old relationship. So she like very like long. And I always like taught her how to like be in relationships. And she always told me like, you like I never had like a long relationship, like never. So she always told me like, oh, you don't know what it is to be in long relationship. You don't tell me like, we'll see how you will be in the relationship, what your problems will have. And now when I look like in our relationships, it's like, I was right. I was like, we're so good. Like, we're like.
We've worked on it a lot, yeah.
But it's possible.
It's possible.
It's
yeah.
like, now when I told you I will have a great relationship. I told you I will make it work. Like, I told you it will be great, kind of. Don't tell me like, I told him like, I want this way, and she always told like, oh, like it's your dream, you'll have like this, like whatever, but so I'm hoping with the kids will be the same. or I will make it work, and it will be the way how I expect to have a kid.
For me, like with my parents, to kind of go back to the parents. So I grew up Jehovah's Witness. So no birthdays, no Christmas, no nothing. Like, no, none of that. No holidays. The only thing we celebrate is, like, anniversaries, which is why, like, wedding anniversaries are so big deal to them, because it's, like, one thing we can celebrate, which we just did this weekend. They got us all gifts, and we had a party for our second anniversary. And for Sandra, it's, like, no big deal anniversary, kind of. But anyway, so I grew up Jehovah's Witness, and then when I was in my, like, early 20s, like 19 to, like, 25, and I made the conscious decision, okay, like, I'm not Jehovah's Witness. Like, this is not what I think or believe. It just didn't work for me. And I was, like, so combative with my dad, especially, because he kept trying to change my mind, but then I was just, I was the worst, you know? And now I think about it so differently, but that was, like, probably the most difficult time for when I look back, like, my relationship with my dad, anyway. But now I have such a different perspective on it because I respect their beliefs, and I kind of see it differently. And we can get into that and make maybe another episode, because that's a deep religion, like, deep, long conversation. But now I just, like, kind of respect it, and I'm, like, more grateful that they have it. You know, they have that belief, and they have the community, most importantly. Like, they have the church, like, really, it's a really solid foundation and good community, and they have people who worry about them and think about them, and people to talk to, and friends. So that's, like, I think that's important, but it's not for me. Let's just put it that way. Jehovah's Witness religion is not for me. And especially when you have a wife who's an astrologer and feng shui consultant, that's, like, no, it's, like, very bad for Jehovah's Witnesses are, like, very anti-astrology.
Like, I didn't, you know, like how you told what you understand my parents from what you say and what you see.
Yeah.
For me, like, I understand your parents, what you're saying to me.
Yeah.
If, like, in Latvia, I don't know what was Jehovah's Witness. I didn't know what it is. And you told me, like, kind of, it doesn't come hand to hand. Like, the astrology and Jehovah's Witness are, like, very separate, and they can't be together. So when I became astrologer, or, like, when I studied astrology, I didn't want to tell your parents of what I have some hobby of astrology and feng shui, because I didn't want them to comment or to, like
think of you differently. Yeah.
I didn't want them to, like, make any, like, it's offense, kind of, even, I would say. Like, I don't want you to push, like, I don't want to change your mind, and don't want me to change my mind, kind of. So we can live separately. I will not talk about your Jehovah's Witness, and you respect my astrology.
Yeah, and that's how it is now. Yeah.
And I'm very grateful, actually, for your parents. How my parents do not really support my astrology and feng shui when I left my IT job. But your parents were, I don't know how much supportive they were, but, like, when they asked me how was my business, I felt, like, so supportive.
Yeah, I mean, they want you to succeed. They want us to be successful, even if they don't agree. The same thing how I feel about them, you know? Like, I want them to be happy and have a successful spirituality with their church, even though we don't necessarily believe the same thing, you know? But yeah, that was a difficult time. It was such a difficult time when I was going through that, you know. But you just kind of, like, turn, like, one day there ends up being a day where you don't care anymore, like, who you're going to disappoint with your choices, and you just move on, and everybody accepts it, and then you can grow from it, and then you build a better relationship from it. So I think that's what happened.
You know what? Some people still are not. Some people are until like 40 years old. They never like break this kind of like path. Like I will live my life, and I will live my life, and I don't care what you're saying because I want to be happy. But some people are like until like 40 or 50 years or like 35 until they're still like what my parents will tell. Like, are they approved of my choices? Are they okay with whatever I do? You know, they never break this kind of separation. I don't know, do you have this word in English? So like you separate from your parents like mentally. Like you are a grown-up person and you make your own choices. You're responsible for your own choices. You are make responsibility. But some people are still like until they're very older, they're still like can't take this responsibility on their life. What it's my choice, whatever I will do, and they're still like, oh, what my parents would do, what my parents would do.
I was just thinking because I read a statistic recently, and I don't remember like verbatim, but I think it was like 30 or 35% of millennials like still live with their parents. And so you would have to have a good relationship to be, because I mean it makes sense because like rent is very expensive, housing is the least affordable that it's ever been. People can't afford to buy houses anymore. Like if you want to buy a house at just like the average price house now, like your household has to make like $160,000 a year to afford it. No, anywhere. Oh. Anywhere. Because that median house is like $430,000, I think. $408,000 might be. Something like that. But yeah, to be able to afford it, you have to. That's what I heard. I haven't really checked the numbers, but I'm sure people who make less can get approved. But based on the like 1/3, I think rule, you should only 1/4 to 1/3 of your income should go to housing. That's probably right. But, so yeah, a lot of people, I'm sure, who might be listening, still living with your parents. Well, hopefully we gave you some insights.
The most important, move away from let's move to Europe. Move to Europe. Insights
on how to deal with your parents or your in-laws, and
change yourself first.
Yeah, change yourself first. Have yourself grow first, and then you can build a relationship. Maybe you'll see more eye to eye after there's some acceptance there. So I think that's it. Yeah. We did it. We got a new episode in. Woo! So thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Millennial Marriages. This is Ryan Mossman, and that is
Sandra Mossman, his wife.
I'm the wife. She's the wife. I'm the husband. Sandra Mossman. So please like, subscribe, share the video. We really appreciate all of you, and we are going to please comment for anything that you want to hear, any ideas, anything you would like us to discuss, and we will see you very soon.